title, women walk away from their families for their happiness plus more. So I want to kind of talk about that. I've talked about this before. We joke about Tia Mowry and others who, choose to leave their families for, in the name of their happiness and putting themselves first.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucian.
And feeling like, they've not been able to, I guess, sort of spread their wings in a sense. I think it comes from this feeling that women tend to get of not really fulfilling their worth, or not feeling, I guess, appreciated, or even feeling like they want something more. This is what a lot of women tend to do, and women in marriages and women who are single as well. They tend to put themselves above and beyond their families, their husbands, and even their kids. And while I do understand the nature of women, because I am a woman and I understand the ups and downs and the back and forths of a woman, I get where it comes from. But at the same time, I think a lot of women make mistakes when they go off of their feelings, because it's ultimately it's a feeling. And as women, we tend to move and operate off of our emotions and our feelings. It's just a part of who we are. But we have to start regulating our feelings and emotions to make better decisions, and not allow it to dictate how we move in real serious situations. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this clip, and I want to get your thoughts in the chat. So make sure you chime in the chat. Here we go.
I left my husband, I left my kids, and I moved to a whole new city. A whole new state, rather. Just me, no one else. And I didn't move because I didn't love them, but I finally decided to love myself too. And so for years, I put myself on the back burner, just being a mom, being a wife, which is great, it's awesome. But, all this time, I was wearing a smile, but deep down, I wasn't really happy inside, And so one day I realized that I couldn't keep living a life that made everyone else comfortable while I was crumbling inside. So literally, I made the most hardest decision, ever. The most soul stretching decision, ever. And that was to pack my bags and move to Nashville. I actually, one day I just woke up and, I was just well, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I need to do something different, other than what I'm doing. And I felt like I needed to find me again. Like I said, because, I felt like I was losing myself.
Now, this is what she's saying is not new. This is not my first time hearing this. This is something mothers tend to take on. I think this comes from that Oprah era of women talking like this, honestly, where they start talking about, oh, I need to find myself, and I'm just not a mother and a wife. I've bogged myself down with being a mother and a wife, and that's all I am. And I'm more than this, and I'm just tired. I'm tired of raising the kids. I'm tired of being here in the household, being a wife and a mother to my family that I wanted, that I decided to create. All of a sudden, I got to find myself. And so all of this type of thinking, it led these women to depression. They became depressed because they really felt like being a mother and a wife just wasn't cutting it. Even though that's what they wanted. They wanted to be wives. They wanted to be mothers. But once you get in the thick of it, now, it's not this fairy tale, lifestyle. You realize that, oh my God, raising kids is work. Right? Raising children 24/7 is work. And I've watched videos and women complain about it, and how, and I actually was a part of it. I've been there. So I know what it's like. It's work. Sometimes it's tough, especially when you have more than one child, more than one little one. It's work. But you got to remember, this is what you chose. This is what you wanted. You wanted a family. And I don't know who told people that raising kids was going to be super easy, especially multiples at a time. It's a part of what you signed up for. And it's not something that lasts forever. I mean, you're always going to be a mother, you're always going to be a parent, but they're not going to stay little forever. But in that time frame of you taking care of kids, women become overwhelmed. They feel like they're losing themselves. They feel like all is lost. They're not who they used to be because you're at home. You're a mother now. You are. It is a different task. It's a different situation. It's not like when you were single, you can get up and go. You didn't have to. Now the dynamics change. When you become a mother, now you gotta. When you go somewhere, you gotta pack a bag for your kids. You gotta pack bottles and diapers and snacks and toys and things of that nature. That's just a part of it. But I think a lot of these women sign up for this, but somehow they've been brainwashed or something to think that, oh, this is just going to be so easy. And when it gets hard, you want to run and you want to leave. That's not what you're supposed to do as a parent. You don't get to run off and negate your responsibilities. What if the man in your life, what if your husband decided he was tired? See, this is the difference between women and men. Women can decide, I'm tired, I'm out. And women sympathize with them. But a man don't get to say, I'm tired, I'm out. He can't stop to say, you know what? I'm tired of paying these damn bills. I'm out. I'm going to take me a break. I'm off. You handle it however you got to handle it till I get back, if I come back. Men can't do that. Men can't forego their responsibilities just because they get tired and overwhelmed. No, they got to stick it out and they got to keep it going. But women can decide to walk away from their families, take a break, whatever you want to call it, and nobody bats. I'm pretty sure that husband and those kids have an issue with it, but what can they do? But people sympathize with that when it comes to women for the most part. But a man, he don't get that chance. He can't do that. So if he can't walk away from the responsibility that he chose, you shouldn't be able to walk away from it either. As the woman, you need to stick it out and get through the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's what you signed up for. And eventually you get past it. These kids grow up. They go to school. They go to college. They go to work. They become adults. And you can have more time for yourself then. Let's continue.
So anyway, rewinding, I had actually applied for a position with Vanderbilt. And I ended up getting the position, and they were offering a sign-on bonus as well as a relocation bonus. And yeah, I got the position and I took it. So anyway, no safety net, no guarantees, no nothing. I applied for my apartment and everything. I literally got approved for everything right away. So it seems like everything had just fell into my lap. It was what I was supposed to be doing. And because of that, it really validated my decision to leave. And so I did that. I get to Nashville. I started rebuilding my life. I even started thinking of another business endeavor that I had been thinking about for the past 5 years that I never built up the courage to do. And if you know me, you know I've had businesses, even just saving money, paying off debt, rebuilding my credit, everything. I got my stuff back up, which I'm totally proud of. And now I'm getting ready to graduate with my master's in public health here in September 5th to be exact. And honestly, I still have a long ways to go. There's still so much that I want to do. I cried, I prayed, I healed, and I did a lot, and I found me. But like I said, I'm not done yet, and I'm so damn proud of how far that I've come. You don't even know the half. And I contemplated about whether I wanted to even share this, because I've always shared good news about certain things happening in my life, but I've never just opened up and really just shared my truth to people. So this is new for me, and it's definitely taking a leap of faith, because this is nothing that I ever really imagined doing. But yeah, this is my story, and honestly this is for any woman who feels stuck or torn or scared to choose herself. You're not a bad mom. You're not a bad wife.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
It doesn't mean that you're abandoning love. It doesn't mean that you're abandoning your family.
It does. It does. I'm sorry. It does mean that you're abandoning your family. Anytime you feel that you need to walk away from your family in that way, you need to move and find. Yes, it is considered abandoning your family. I don't give a damn how you try to put it. That's exactly what it is. Because if a man chose to do that exact same thing, y'all would call it abandonment. You would call it abandonment. You would call it him walking away from his family and abandon his. Yes, it is. I don't care if you do it for what amount of time you decide to do it for. It is what it is. And we got to stop coddling these women and making them think that, it's not. Call a spade a spade. That is exactly what it is. You don't get to do that as a parent, as a wife. That's not what that, just the same way most women, if a man decided that he needed to find himself and walk off, I don't care if it's for a week. I don't care if it's for 3 days or a month, whatever, any amount of time, when you got a whole wife and you have a whole family that you're responsible for. If he walked away at any point, women would be calling him low down and dirty, and they would have called it abandonment. So it's no different when it comes to women. It is an abandonment. When you walk away from your family, you move to a whole nother state. Talking about you trying to find yourself and you got a whole husband and kids. Baby, that's abandonment. I don't give a damn how you try to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. And that needs to stop. Sugarcoating and turning it and twisting it and making things into what you want it to be is not what it is. You abandon your family. That's what it is. I don't care. That is abandonment. Let's continue.
This means that you're making space for the version of you that has been buried so long under obligation. And that's exactly what it was. Like, if you are in your breaking point area, like, girl, I totally see you. Like, I see you. But everything fell into place. And then, even my husband and I, like, our relationship got better. It started off like really rocky, but we got better, and we developed a deeper understanding of each other. And I feel like things are better than ever because I know who I am now, like even more so. Because when we got married, I was a 22-year-old girl. I had a 5-month-old baby, and I didn't know nothing about being grown. And I was just going along with him, just following his lead, And because of that, I really didn't know who I was. Like I said, I was just going along, just following my man. He was older, and, he had the life and everything. But I had to find, what works for me. And I'm so glad that I did because, yeah, it was literally, the best thing I ever could have done for myself.
Now, this is her responding to the backlash. So there was backlash, apparently. And this is her responding, because even the caption says she sacrificed her family for her happiness. Right. And so now this is her responding to it. Listen to what she's saying here. Let's continue.
To women who are following me. And I also, honestly, I did it for my own self. I did it for my own personal freedom. I'm not even gonna lie. At first, I was ashamed that I felt like I needed to move away for a bit and, be on my own. And it was never, anything permanent, So, yeah, I sacrificed 3 months to get myself together, mentally and emotionally, the way that I felt like that I needed to, even financially. Because like I said, a few times in the comments, I went there for 3 months. I cleared my debt, stacked my money, and I came back home. Like I said, in my previous post.
Cleared your debt and stacked your money for 3 months away from your husband and your family and your kid. So the husband was left to take care of the child, or I don't know how many children she has. So the responsibility was left on the husband to go to make sure that the child was good and all of that, to go to work and maintain while you gone for 3 months, and you're stacking your money to pay off your debt, and that's how you found yourself. Where did you stay? Did you stay with somebody, relative? How did you pay for that? We'll manage that. This is some crazy shit, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
It's like I've been home for about 2 weeks now, and I know like I don't have to explain anything to anybody, but this message alone has helped so many women. And I know because I received countless messages from other women like telling me how brave I am and how courageous, and you know how they've
That's some bullshit. That ain't brave. That's the opposite. It ain't brave of you to walk away from your goddamn family. You could have figured out how to stack cash while you was at home. Why couldn't you do that while you maintain your house, your household? You didn't have to go off. There's some other going on behind the scenes, I think, y'all. Well, who you like? What you going on? You want to go off and play single for a little while for 3 months? What? Is there another a dude that you thought was gonna take you more seriously, that you thought about running away with, and then it didn't work out? So then you're back home to the husband who's sitting there just taking all of this? Come on now. There is more to the story that we aren't privy to, but come on.
always thought about doing the same thing, but they never had the support or never even had the courage. But fortunately, I have both. So yeah, you don't know, like none of y'all know the particulars of my life. Y'all don't know my family dynamics. You don't know anything about me. So if this post was not for you, like just continue strolling. Stop projecting. Just stop it.
They get mad.
Like, you guys are so mean. Like,
No.
how are you comfortable like degrading someone on social media that you don't even know? I didn't make this post to offer advice to someone or to people like to leave their families. Like, I'm all for families staying together. Like, if you can make your family work, like stay together. And that's literally what I did with my husband. Like, I'm still with my man, like, and I'm with my kids, like. But anyway, I feel like this is like totally redundant. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
She was mad. She didn't like the commentary or the responses to that because she knows it was negative. She was hesitant about posting it, and also she felt bad about it because if you feeling bad about it, then you know that was a bad choice. Bottom line, you know it was wrong to walk away from your family for any amount of time. That ain't nothing empowering about. There's nothing empowering about that. There's no empowerment in that. That's a cop out. You went and stayed away from your family. And I just don't think, and I don't know her or her husband or whatever, but that man, that don't you think that would leave some type of seed of doubt within him? Like, okay, when she's gonna feel like she need to find herself again? Whenever she feels like she need to walk away or it gets too much, is she gonna just up and leave? Like, come on, that's no stability in that. And then how do you know? You don't know how this is affecting your child or your children, however many you got. You don't know how this is affecting them. They may not trust that you're going to stay. You getting your feelings and you ready to leave and take a break. Now you're creating something within your child. So I don't think a lot of times, once again, women don't think about everybody else. The bigger picture, they only think about themselves. It's a selfish, entitled move. They want attention so bad. You go to the extremes with putting it out there and then thinking you're going to get all these positive responses. And when you don't, when they drag you, then you mad. She was mad. And that's what happens. You take the chance to put your personal, you could talk about something else, boo. You don't have to talk about you walking away. You was going to get backlash from that. So why still put it out there? And it's not like you going to a treatment center or you going to check yourself into a place because you're jacked up. It's not like you're saying I'm going to get therapy or I have an issue or I need help. No, you're talking about you going to find yourself and staying away for 3 months and stacking cash. And what? That's insane to me. It really is. That's not the message you want to put out there for young people. Because you make women, and a lot of women are easily influenced. So you influence young women to think that, oh, when the going gets tough, I can just get out and leave and he's supposed to be okay with it. And my child, the child gonna be fine because, the father there. So I'm just walk away. Knowing that, once again, if men did this, it would be an uproar. He will be all kind of deadbeats and everything else. So no, I don't think that that's something you should do. You work through your issues, and if y'all can't, well, y'all got to figure it out, whatever you need to do. But abandoning your family for any amount of time is not a good thing.